Alrighty, what is going on everybody? It's your boy Pretender here, and today I'm back with another Honkai Star video, and today I'm going to be discussing whether you as a player should go for dupes on Dr.Ratio potentially, or his Lightcone, or actually go for Kafka. A lot of people have summoned and skipped for Kafka obviously because every new unit there will be people that will skip, there will be people that will summon. And so today I'm going to be going over if you should be summoning for her, or if it would be better to go for dupes on your Dr.Ratio because he will be a free unit, or actually go out and get his Lightcone. Because his Lightcone actually does enable him to do a lot more than just a standard Lightcone, so it will be very important to talk about. So I'll definitely be going over his dupes mainly, not his kit because I have a full build guide that I will link in the description below, but I will be going over Kafka's kit because I haven't actually gone over her. So Kafka is pretty much a Nihility enabler. She is a core of teams, and with Black Swan coming up soon, people are also wondering whether they need Kafka or not. And so I'll briefly go over that in this video. So for her basic attack, she deals lightning damage equal to 100% of Kafka's attack to a single enemy. Her skill deals lightning damage equal to 160% of Kafka's attack to a target enemy, and lightning damage equal to 60% of Kafka's attack to enemies adjacent to it. If the target enemy is currently receiving dot, all dots currently placed on that enemy immediately produce damage equal to 75% of their original damage. So she is really good in that department because she will be proccing the dot from the different units on your team, which obviously with her you're going to be running other dot units because that is what the team is going to be formed around. And her ultimate deals lightning damage equal to 80% of Kafka's attack to all enemies, with a 100% base chance for enemies hit to become shocked and immediately take damage from their current shock state. Equal to 100% of its original damage, shock lasts for 2 turns. While shocked, enemies receive lightning dot equal to 290% of Kafka's attack at the beginning of each turn. Obviously, her not being just an enabler with this, she also does dot herself obviously because she is dot based. She's a dot based character. Her talent: after an ally of Kafka's uses basic attack on an enemy target, Kafka immediately launches one follow-up attack and deals lightning damage equal to 140% of her attack to that target, with a 100% base chance to inflict shock, equivalent to that applied by her ultimate to the attacked enemy target, lasting for 2 turns. This effect can only be triggered 1 time per turn. The technique immediately attacks all enemies within a set range. After entering battle, lightning damage equal to 50% of Kafka's attack to all enemies, with a 100% base chance to inflict shock equivalent to that applied by her ultimate on every enemy target for 2 turns. Bonus abilities: the base chance for target enemies to get shocked by the ultimate, the technique, or the talent triggered follow-up attack increases by 30%. So that is an increase by the chance for 30% just by the bonus ability being unlocked. Very, very good. Second one, if an enemy is defeated while shocked, Kafka additionally regenerates 5 energy, so you can get her all up faster, which is also very good. Not by a crazy amount, but it's still something at least. And a third one, when the ultimate is used, enemies will now receive damage immediately from all currently applied dot sources instead of just receiving damage immediately from the current applied shock state. So all damage or dot you have applied to them, if you throw out the ultimate, they will get hit by all that, which is very, very powerful. And from her kit alone, you can get a general idea on why she is such a Nihility enabler. This isn't a directed build guide for Kafka, but I'm definitely going to go over her Lightcone just so people know it. And yeah, so her Lightcone increases damage dealt by the wearer by 24%. After every attack launched by the wearer, their speed increases by 4.8%, stacking up to 3 times. If the wearer hits an enemy that is not afflicted by a road, there's a 100% base chance to inflict a road to the target. Enemies afflicted with a road are also considered to be shocked and will receive lightning dot at the start of each turn equal to 60% of the wearer's attack, lasting for 1 turn. So not only does this increase her damage dealt, which also applies to the dot, she gets a lot more speed, becoming faster so you can apply more dots, have more procs, all that stuff. And they also have a 100% chance to be inflicted with erode if they're not already, which is considered to be shocked as it says, and will receive lightning dot, so you just get free dot damage just from her Lightcone alone. So her Lightcone is also a very, very, very good Lightcone for her obviously. So as I already mentioned in the beginning of the video, I'm not going to be going over Dr.Ratio's kit because I already have made a full build guide on Dr.Ratio, including his Lightcones, relics, his kit, and all that. But I'm going to mainly be focusing on his dupes, and the reason for that is because Dr.Ratio again is a free unit coming out on the second part of 1.6. And so all players that have access to the mailbox will be getting a free Dr.Ratio. And if you play the game, I hope you have access to the mailbox. That would make it consider that you have played the game for more than 10 minutes. Not only will I be talking about his dupes here, I think a lot better of a choice if you would be doing this is to go for his Lightcone first, because his Lightcone is very good. And obviously, prioritizing something like a Lightcone that is going to be made for a character is definitely going to be better than getting just a dupe for them, because obviously you want them to be as strong as possible, and usually the Lightcone has something tailored towards them. So I did already cover Dr. Ratio's Lightcone in the build guide, but I'm going to briefly go over it on this one because it is a main topic of this video. So what his Lightcone does is it increases Wearer's crit damage by 20%, which is already really good, and as you already know that Dr. Ratio is a follow-up attack based character, the crit damage you get here, the follow-up attack he does is also able to crit unlike Dot, so getting crit damage crit rate on him is very, very much preferred. For every debuff on the enemy target, the wearer's crit damage dealt against this target increases by 8%, stacking up to 3 times. When using ultimate to attack the enemy, the wearer receives the disputation effect, which increases damage dealt by 36% and enables their follow-up attacks to ignore 24% of the target's defense. Effect lasts for 2 turns. This Lightcone is very, very, very much tailored towards him because the 20% stat stick is very good on its own. Dr. Ratio is also mainly based off debuffs, because the more debuffs the enemies have, the more damage he'll be doing, the more stacks you'll get from his kit and this Lightcone. And so the more they have, obviously, you'll be doing more damage, as it says on this part, stacking up to 3 times, so that is more crit damage. And when you do use your ultimate, you do get the disputation effect, as it says, which you will get a increased damage dealt by 36%, and your follow-up would ignore 24% of the target's defense, effect lasting for 2 turns. So, very, very, very good Lightcone for him. Very, very, very good for Dr. Ratio fans that will be summoning for this. Now going over his dupes, obviously I'm going to assume not everyone is going to be going past maybe maximum of 2. Going for 2 is pretty common in Sorrow and Sorrow players. Going to 4 is pretty money heavy, and going to 6 is obviously Mega Whale mode. So his first Eidolon, the maximum stackable count for the Trace Summation increases by 4. When a battle begins, immediately obtains 4 stacks of Summation, needs to unlock Summation first. So, Summation, as I'll quickly go over here, so it will be affecting this bonus trace right here, the third one. So when Dr. Ratio uses a skill, for every debuff on the target, his crit rate increases by 2.5% and crit damage increases by 5%. That can be stacked up to 6 times. And so that will make it go up to 10 times, so you can get even more crit rate and more crit damage, which is very, very good. The second Eidolon, when his talent follow-up attack hits a target, for every debuff the target has, additionally deals imaginary damage equal to 20% of Dr. Ratio's attack. This effect can be triggered for a maximum of 4 times during each follow-up attack. So, just more damage on follow-up, very good considering that's his main source. Fourth Eidolon, when triggering the talent, additionally regenerates 15 energy for Dr. Ratio. This is pretty good, not anything crazy for a E4, but 15 energy is pretty solid. But again, for an E4, it's alright. And the 6th Eidolon additionally increases the triggerable amount for Wise Man's Folly by 1. The damage dealt by the talent follow-up attack increases by 50%. So Wise Man's Folly is his charge, or the triggerable amount as it says. And originally you have 2. You have 2 Wise Man Follies, and this will make it 3. And not only will you get the extra charge, you will get a 50% attack increase in follow-up damage. So as I've now gone over both their kits, what you should be going for. So, obviously, this depends on your preference as a player. This definitely also a matter depending on what your account has, where you want to go with your account, and all that. So, for newer players, it will be a lot easier to go for Dr. Ratio, and the reason for that is 1, he's free. 2, as a newer player, you'll easily be able to get his Lightcone and stuff. And yeah, all you would really need to focus is on the one free one and get his Lightcone, because again, this Lightcone does enable him so much. This Lightcone is very, very, very powerful for him. And as a more advanced player, this depends on how much you actually like using Dr. Ratio if you have a team set for him, because the whole difference here is these two are used on different teams. So Kafka does have a follow-up attack, but she is mainly focused on enabling the Dot team. So with her, you will need other Dot units. To make the team good, you want to run Dot units. Usually a team relatively around the meta side now consists of 3 Dot characters with Quoquo, or a healer, could be Luotra as well, that's completely alright. And that's how it's usually been going recently. With Dr. Ratio, you would just really need to run him with characters that debuff, pretty much. As a team that would debuff, he is very, very powerful, his follow-up attacks will hit hard, his ult is really good, and with his Lightcone it would be even better. So, whether you should summon for Kafka or Dr.Ratio, dupes slash Lightcone. Dupes really just depends if you do like the character. If you really like Dr.Ratio and you think the dupes are beneficial, which I think the first dupe, very, very nice. You get more stacks, aka more crit damage and crit rate, which is very good. The second one, this one is just more damage. So this one is okay. Like, it's not, I don't think it's anything like you need this for him to do like any form of damage. He himself, even without either of these, very powerful. Fourth one, I don't think is that great. For 4 dupes into a character, just getting 15% energy it's good if you do trigger his talent often, which you probably will. So it can be really good to get his ult time up, but I think they could have done a little more with this. And the sixth one is a powerful one because you get 50% more damage and you get another charge for your Wise Man's Folly. So this is really good. Do I think you need dupes? No. Definitely would prioritize getting the Lightcone. So for the most part, I do recommend you would focus on Dr.Ratio unless you have dot units built, or you're very interested in the dot team, or you are going to be summoning for Black Swan, who's going to be very, very, very powerful on the dot team with Kafka. Definitely check out the videos where I was talking about her kit. Do you need Kafka for Black Swan? No. Will she make the team significantly stronger with Black Swan and Kafka together? Yes. Anyway, as I was saying, getting her would mean you'd, 1, want to run dot, which if you do, you would most likely want Kafka. 2, you have other dot characters built, such as Sampo, Gwenifin, sorry if I butchered that, don't know how to say her name, and those kind of characters, because they all will want to work together. Kafka wants a dot team with a healer, and that's how you're going to be going with that. So if you are willing to build a dot team, and you were very interested in it, then I would say you would want Kafka, and potentially Lightcone. She has other options, but again, this is not a build guide, so I'm just talking about our main one, assuming you would get this one. You definitely want to go for Kafka, even if you're not going to get the Lightcone, if you are willing to go to build the dot team, or you already have them built, or you're going for Black Swan. Because if you're going for Black Swan, I definitely recommend picking up Kafka. I know Black Swan is right after this batch, after Dr.Ratio and Kafka, if we're going right into Black Swan. I know as painful as it is, but if you are going to be going for it, I do definitely recommend trying to get Kafka, because again, you won't regret it if you are very much interested in running the dot team, because the dot team is extremely powerful and Kafka makes it extremely powerful, and Black Swan will make it even more potent than it already is. So those are the cases where I recommend you go for Kafka over Dr.Ratio. But overall, for the most part, if you aren't willing to do such commitments or already have that progress up, I definitely would recommend getting Dr.Ratio's Lightcone, because I think overall he will be easier to run, because you just run him on teams that generally increase damage / just give debuffs, while Kafka, you're going to run her pretty much solely on a dot team. Anyway, that has been the video. Hope you all found this video helpful, and I'll see you guys next time.